Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this quick info session. I'm Adrienne Mathis, the Program Director at Title IX Solutions. Just if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box and I'll do my best to address them after the info session. Also, please feel free to email me. My email address is on the screen. And I'm also happy to set up a one-on-one meeting with you if you'd like to discuss any of this information in further detail. So Title IX Solutions is a Title IX consulting firm. We offer a variety of services related to Title IX. So this includes training programs for Title IX personnel, sexual misconduct policy writing and review, professional Title IX investigations, informal resolution facilitation services, including mediation, as well as the independent hearing officers, also referred to as decision-making services, which we will be focusing on today. So the first question is, why independent hearing officers? Now, you're all familiar with the new Title IX regulations, and they really emphasize equal and equitable grievance processes, as well as avoiding any conflict of interest and biases among Title IX personnel. While this is absolutely possible with internal hearing officers, the use of external hearing officers, particularly those with experience conducting fair and prompt proceedings, will help your institution comply with Title IX. Additionally, there are specific procedural rules with regards to certain elements of the Title IX hearing process, such as the requirement to have a live hearing, prohibited questions during cross-examination, and the party's right to an advisor. However, Title IX provides little guidance with regard to other aspects of the hearing. So, for example, should there be a pre-hearing meeting? How exactly do you weigh relevant information when determining responsibility? And should there be an opportunity for opening or closing statements from the parties? So, to address this gray area of the Title IX grievance process, our hearing officers have read through the preamble to the regulations, as well as, of course, the Title IX regulations themselves, and leveraged a lifetime of legal experience to establish best practices and guidelines for the hearing. So we bring these guidelines to your campus, share them with your Title IX team, the parties and advisors in the case, and then use them to facilitate the hearing process. Additionally, the hearing process can be emotionally taxing and time-consuming for everyone involved, regardless if you're internal or external, but it may be especially true for internal hearing officers, especially on campuses that are smaller, because often those internal hearing officers know the involved parties. Additionally, that time commitment for the hearing officer, as you all know, is not simply the half day or full day required to conduct the hearing itself. The hearing officer must take time to read the complaint, participate in any pre-hearing meetings and coordinate, as well as draft and issue the written determination, which has numerous topics which must be addressed. So our hearing officers have the ability to dedicate that necessary time to prepare for and coordinate the hearing, as well as any pre-hearing meetings. They have the time to thoroughly review the details of the case and finally draft that determination. Additionally, our hearing officers have the ability to bridge legal experience with Title IX. So they're leveraging decades of experience in the legal field and working with clients or in the courtroom, and are able to prepare for a hearing in an organized, methodical manner, oversee proceedings with authority, particularly if there's a power imbalance between the parties' advisors. So for example, if one party has an attorney as an advisor while the other party has a friend. And finally, they are able to assign the appropriate weight to relevant information. So I want to reiterate that these hearing officers are not just lawyers at a firm who have the ability to oversee a hearing. These individuals have been selected by our leadership to serve as decision makers because they want to bring these schools they want to bring their skills to your school for these proceedings, as well as ensure a prompt, fair, and compassionate process for the involved parties. So who are our hearing officers, right? Since the proposed Title IX regulations were released in 2018, our leadership has been working to create this unparalleled pool of diverse, experienced, and professional hearing officers. All of our decision makers are current mediators and arbitrators, including retired judges, former university counsel, former attorneys at the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, mediators for state boards of education. They also have experience with sexual abuse, sexual harassment, sexual orientation, and race discrimination cases, as well as restorative justice. They also have a lifetime of experience evaluating evidence objectively, determining relevance, and conducting fair grievance proceedings with authority. And all of this is to help you and your Title IX team feel comfortable and confident in the grievance process on your campus. Finally, which is also very important, our hearing officers are trained in Title IX and trauma-informed response techniques as required by various states. They also lead Title IX training programs for college and university personnel. So now that you know who we are, how do you bring these independent hearing officers to your campus? At Title IX Solutions, we've found that preparation, communication, and a thorough understanding of each participant's role in the Title IX process is critical to ensure compliance with Title IX, as well as your school's own sexual harassment policy. Therefore, we have designed a two-phase program. So phase one, we call the Title IX Compliance Program. Essentially, it's designed to establish trust and communication between our teams. So it includes, first of all, the review of your institution's sexual harassment policy. So we are happy to review it and ensure compliance with Title IX and even provide revisions if requested. It's also to help prepare our own hearing officers and our team so that they're familiar with your school's own procedures prior to a case. Then we will have an initial onboarding meeting with our independent hearing officers and leadership and your Title IX team. So of course, it's an opportunity to introduce ourselves, but we also take advantage of this time together to explain our services and approach to the grievance process, as well as relay our own expectations and needs regarding the grievance process. We also take this opportunity to listen to your team's needs and expectations of us and address any questions that you may have for our team. Finally, we offer a 3-hour training program on the Title IX topic of your choice. Now, this program may take place kind of on the date of your choosing, so we can do it this semester or next semester. It does not have to be completed prior to using our decision-making services. Potential training programs include an overview of the Title IX regulations, trauma-informed response techniques, first responders training, best practices for Title IX investigations, and so on. We can also divide this 3-hour training into smaller training modules. For example, if you'd rather have 2 1.5-hour sessions, we can accommodate that need as well. So phase two is the engagement services aspect. Upon completion of phase one, you will actually have access to all of our engagement services. So obviously today we're focusing on independent hearing officers, and we are able to provide a single hearing officer, a panel of hearing officers, what we call hearing panel support, which is our hearing officer accompanies your internal Title IX hearing officers to provide guidance throughout the process. And then we also are available as appellate officers. Our other engagement services include informal resolution facilitators who can facilitate mediations, arbitrations, restorative justice processes, professional Title IX investigations. So our investigators are former FBI agents with decades of professional investigative experience, trained in Title IX, and are state licensed. Both of these services are available as consulting services as well. So your internal investigators or facilitators may contact us via email, our phone, our virtual platform to review any of questions that they may have during a case. We also offer our hearing officers as advisors to support parties during that hearing process. Obviously, this is only available for cases in which we don't operate as the hearing officer or facilitator to avoid any conflict of interest. And finally, all of these services are available on campus and virtually. So, my notes here. What are the responsibilities of the hearing officer? Well, essentially, when a Title IX complaint is filed with the coordinator, the Title IX coordinator will contact me directly with preliminary information about the case and an estimated date of the hearing. I will then reach out to our pool of facilitators with that information. They will run a conflicts of interest check with the names of the parties, as well as check their own availability. Based on their availability, experience, as well as your own input, one or more hearing officer will be assigned to your case. So that depends on your policy and the complexity of the case if you need a single officer or a panel. Then, of course, the hearing officer will review the formal Title IX complaint, evaluate the investigative report and file, communicate with the Title IX coordinator to determine the best way to approach the hearing. For example, do you need to coordinate pre-hearing meetings? They will share our exclusive grievance process guidelines and rules. They will oversee the Title IX hearing process, supervise the conduct of the involved parties and their advisors, determine the relevance of questions posed during the hearing, and finally, they will draft and issue that written determination of responsibility to the parties. Now, this does include the sanctioning, and this is why that phase one is very important, because during that stage, our decision makers can communicate with your Title IX coordinator to understand the severity of sanctioning on your campus and how you approach sanctioning. So with regards to pricing, the Title IX compliance program and engagement services fee retainer is $3,000 total. We do have payment plans available, so please contact me if that's an issue. Our hearing officers, advisors, and informal resolution facilitators fee is $500 a person per hour. Our investigators fee is $250 an hour per person. And of course, if you have the decision maker, advisor, facilitator, or investigator come to your campus, the associated travel expenses will be invoiced as well. So we're just about at time. I was a little bit quicker than I anticipated. So if you have any questions, I will go ahead and open up the chat box, or also please feel free to email me. Also, so you all know, all of this information is detailed in a document. So more information about the services and the pricing. So I will send each of you that document this afternoon as a follow-up to this presentation. I will also include the link to the bios of our hearing officers, which is hosted on our website. So you can see for yourself their what experience they've had in this field. And finally, let's see. Oh, if you'd like to schedule a meeting with a hearing officer, please feel free to contact me. I can make that happen for you. So I am going to escape out of this PowerPoint and see if anyone has a question. Let's see here. Would anyone like to put a question in the box? That is for the general public. We have some private questions. Okay. For the retainer, is that a basic fee, but you also pay the hourly fee on a case-by-case basis? Yes, that is exactly right. So the $3,000 is upfront, and we will divide it into different kind of chunks. And then as you need the services, you will be invoiced for that hourly fee. So if you don't utilize any of the hearing officer services, you will not be invoiced that hourly fee. Any other questions that I can answer right now? No, okay. Well, I will follow up with each of you this afternoon with our document detailing all of this. Oh, okay. Assuming we would need to incorporate your exclusive grievance process into our policy. That is not necessarily true, correct? So we understand that you already have your policy in place, right? If you would like us to revise your policy to fit our procedures, we're happy to help with that process. But we will make sure that our guidelines adhere to your policy, because we understand that due process in that realm is also really critical. So yes, we can accommodate that. We're not gonna, demand that you change your policy, of course not. Any additional information that anyone needs at this point? Okay, well, we're right at 3:15, so I want to thank you all for your time, and I will follow up with additional information in the future. Thank you.